It's time for another edition of Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have Chicago comedian Pat Bolduc. If you haven't already, please go and watch this if you're listening at youtube.com/paulfcomedy. Subscribe to the page. Check out my website, paulfcomedy.com, for upcoming dates and details about shows. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Follow our guest, Pat Bolduc, as well. And also check out our sponsors. You love sex. Everyone does. Have you ever used sex toys? Ever wanted to? Or you just feel weird about the whole thing? Well, Love Shop Toys has been in the business of destigmatizing sex toys for years. 20 years. You want a sex toy? Go to loveshoptoys.com and check out their huge variety of options. Whether you're straight, gay, trans, whatever you're into, Love Shop Toys has something for you. And if you're uncomfortable about it, guess what? They send things discreetly so no one has to know about whatever you're into. And even if you're not very active in the sex toy business, check it out. loveshoptoys.com. They send you everything, and it's free shipping for everything over $69. In addition to the free shipping, if you use the code AWAKE69, you get 20% off your whole purchase. That's right, AWAKE69. Go to loveshoptoys.com/AWAKE69 right now and get your stuff. Get your toys, have some fun. You're welcome. As some of you know, I used to be a practicing lawyer in Chicago. I no longer practice, but from time to time, I need a lawyer. And when I need a lawyer, I call my friend Scott Shapiro. Scott Shapiro has been practicing law for over 25 years in Chicago. He does it all, from workers' compensation to personal injury, employment issues, and even entertainment law and contract needs. If you need a lawyer, call my friend Scott. 312-648-8800. That's 312-648-8800. Or you can email him at scott@scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you. You're welcome. Hey, it's time for Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have a very funny comedian, one of my favorite comedians out of Chicago. I used to hear about you all the time, and I was like, who is this guy? And then I saw one of your sets, and I was like, okay, this guy's pretty fucking funny. Pat Bolduc.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing the podcast.
Nice to be here.
You did my old podcast. It was only...
Yep, I was super single.
Yeah. Are you still single?
Yeah.
You made it sound like it was in the past.
Like it's badass. Or, oh, yeah, in the past. No, I think
You'll always be single?
Possibly. I don't know.
Did you just see the podcast once?
I just did it once, yeah.
Okay. Did it change your life?
It did. I got a TV spot off of it. I was able to...
The Farahvar bump is what we call it.
The Farahvar bump, exactly.
So,
I enjoyed it, and I had plenty to talk about with bad Tinder dates and stuff, so it's good.
Did you get any fallback from it in terms of people being like, were you talking about me?
No, I didn't. I don't think anybody I had hooked up with listened to it, because I talked a lot of shit about all of them. So
yeah,
graphic
you're
details.
You're kind of a fuck boy, I would say, right?
What does that mean? You have sex?
I think it's... It just means that, you just have a lot of sex. You plow a lot.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of sex, no.
What are you, just 69?
Just, I'd say,
what do you do?
69. I would love to 69, actually.
That's my go-to move.
Is that right?
Yeah, it just keeps the numbers down. And also, then you don't have to wear a condom.
You have to wear condoms when you...
Sometimes.
I have sex? Okay, all right.
Randomly.
Do you... Yeah, maybe you don't want to talk about this, but do you go on the top or the bottom when you're 69?
I think you have to go on the bottom. I mean,
well, my penis is really small, so it wouldn't like be bad for the woman if I was on top.
I just feel bad if you're on top.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. It feels wrong.
Unless they're bigger than you.
And sometimes they are.
To each its own.
I like basketball players.
I think you do. I think being a fuckboy is exactly what we just talked. That 30 seconds shows I could speak fuckboy, but I'm retired.
You're retired.
Yeah,
Your jersey's in the rafters.
I had a good run. I had a good couple seasons.
I don't know if I would go. Maybe I am a fuckboy, but I just don't think I fuck enough to be a fuckboy.
I don't think you have to fuck.
Oh, you don't?
I don't know. I don't know the terminology. The way I see it is like it's the end of the night, and you're like, I can go home and jerk off, or I'll just take one of these available women home.
Oh, okay. I'm a cuck boy for sure.
Cuck boy.
There is a lot of cuck potential in, on the apps. There's a lot of people asking for you to fuck them.
While they, yeah.
While their husband watches.
It's very big in the comedy world. What happens is, especially on the road, it's happened a lot. I've only had it happen to me once, and I didn't know it was happening, but like they'll invite you out. A couple will invite you after the show because they had a good time. The wife clearly wants to fuck you. And that's if they're attractive enough, it's like, I really want to do this, but do I want another stranger in the room?
Do I want him in the room? That is the thing. Is he going to be
It's a
making
performance
noise?
thing too, yeah.
Right. How big's the crowd? How good's the crowd?
How involved is he going to be?
Is there going to be any...
I'm surprised that hasn't happened with you.
Maybe it has. I would not.
You would know if it had.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. But I would really, if he maybe could watch from like a peephole through
that's
the wall
fine.
or the glory hole that they have in their bathroom or whatever, he could just watch from there. But I would not want to see his
Penis
hairy ass and penis jerking off.
I think there would have to be like a 7 to 10 foot constant distance.
Yeah. Maybe somebody
like
could
restraining order.
Yeah, maybe he has like a little booth, like a hunting. You know, they have those hunting things.
I don't think they carry those on the road.
No. Oh, that's right. You'd have to. That'd be a lot. That would be like a Burt Kreischer level tour bus to carry that shit around.
But it does happen a lot. I think in Florida there's a big swinger community.
I can see that.
And so that happens a lot there, and I do a lot of shows there. Not for that reason, but
but you've never gone through with it.
I haven't. I did a show recently, and this woman came back after the show. I was like, hey, we're going to go to the strip bar here. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, no, I got another show. And she's like, oh, well, come meet us after. Let me give you our number. I was like, oh, okay, maybe. And then I when they were texting me later, I figured it out. I was like, oh,
yeah, they're
in town and this is what they do.
It's an interesting thing.
I think what it happens with comedy, because the woman, there's like she gets excited when they see someone. Comedians are approachable. It's not like and
they know you're leaving town, so you're not going to like fuck their marriage up.
Right. Or they're in town just for, in this situation, they were in Chicago.
Visiting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I'd be open to it. If anybody is listening, I'll cuck you. I'll cuck you.
Yeah.
And if you want to be cucked, I'll cuck you.
Why aren't you fucking though? That doesn't seem, I would think that you, sorry, this has turned into the singles only podcast.
Yeah, this is well.
I just picture you up late every night and you either go home with somebody or you just go and get fucked up.
It happens. Well, yeah, the latter is more so what I do. I just get fucked up at night, but
or both. Sometimes you probably do both.
Sometimes both. Actually, almost. Usually alcohol is involved anytime fucking happens. Pretty weird to do.
Yeah.
Try to do it sober.
Yeah,
not
that's
fun.
So gay.
Yeah, that is. I didn't even know it's not gay to have sex with a guy, but it is gay to have sex sober at all.
That's what I think.
You have to do like a whip it at least before.
Sober sex. Yeah, it's. Well, I've been sober more. I'm not sober, but I'm sober-ish, and it is hard to have sex sober. At least initially.
Yeah, you
got
to
like
get
20 years of
good at it, probably.
Which I'm not.
No, yeah.
On a 7-day week, you probably. How many nights are you going out? On a
6.
Okay.
6 nights I go out. Yeah.
And you're drinking.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm doing comedy.
Comedy. Are you drinking at every show?
Yep.
Okay. So after the shows, you are. After the shows, what do you typically do?
After the shows, usually hang out there, try to squeeze as many free drinks as you can out of the bar. See if you can use some of the glow from your set to get somebody, to hook up with somebody, something like that. That's pretty much, that's it. Or go out with the boys. What's your ratio? How often are you ending up hooking up with a lady on a 7-day 1 out of
week?
7, I would say point.
Okay, let's go monthly.
Monthly, I would say maybe once a month.
Really?
With a rando.
Oh God, if I looked like you, I would have AIDS by now.
Oh, I have AIDS. Yeah.
I mean, like
hearing aids, not the. Oh, you meant the. Yeah.
I just don't understand, like how you're a tall, good-looking dude.
You get them in. Sometimes it's in streaks. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes you will have those, months where you're like, holy shit, I'm kind of killing it right now. And then
dry spell.
I don't know what it is, confidence or the weather.
It's pheromones. They sense it.
Mm-hmm. That is nice.
When you don't give a shit, then they're like, why isn't this guy trying to fuck me?
That's my favorite excuse when a girl doesn't want to. She's like, "Oh, you don't want to fuck a 34-year-old with no money who's a comedian?" I'm like, "It's got to be the pheromones." I think the pheromones weren't right there.
That's got to be it. Well, how late are you staying up these days? Late at night?
Well, I just got done. I was working at a high school during the year. Now I'm not, so I'm going to be like last night.
What were you doing at a high school?
They call it a cadre. You're like you sub, but you only work at one school.
Okay.
And so last night I was up till 8 a.m. That's when I went to bed.
Okay.
That was drinking.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I would go to bed at like 11. But now it's going to be, this summer I'll be up late, and who knows, maybe I'll have sex as well.
So wait, when you were a cotter? What is
cadre? It's
cadre?
an odd
It's
term.
like a padre?
Padres. Yes, I would rather play for the Padres, to be honest, but I don't think they'd have me.
So you would actually be responsible and go home before midnight at these bars where you're getting free alcohol?
No, sometimes I would stay out.
Okay.
Adderall.
Adderall helps too.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah.
But it's not a good move. I could use a lot more sleep, but
Well, you're just subbing.
It's not like
You're just playing movies sometimes.
You go in, you give them the lesson play. Dude, they already have their work, so
all subjects.
Auto shop, I even did.
Really?
Gym class. That sucks.
Do you know anything about cars?
I know good places to hide weed in them when cops pull you over. That's pretty much it. No, I don't know anything about cars. They got on the computers and did that stuff. I did gym classes, ESL classes, where all the kids speak Spanish and I don't speak Spanish, so that's always fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, they're like, say something and I'm
Chicago
just like,
Public
no.
Schools, baby.
Yep, that's good. That's what we want.
Is that what it was? Chicago,
yeah, it's CPS. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a step back here. You grew up in New Hampshire?
Maine.
Gotta get all these states right.
Bangor, Maine.
Bangor, Maine.
And you'd messaged me about a politician up there.
Yeah, his name is Bolduc.
Don Bolduc, which sounds like you're showing respect to a well-connected mafioso or something like that. Don Bolduc.
Not related to him at all.
Not related to him, no.
But he's from Maine and he has the same
He's
last
from New
name.
Hampshire.
Okay, but
they're very close.
What's the distance there? 100
No,
miles?
there's one step is Maine, there's a line in between.
How do you know you're not related to him? You're just saying that.
Oh, that's true.
There's not a lot of Bulldogs, is there?
Yeah. There's some, and there's a decent amount in Maine.
Common name?
French Canadian, not ultra common, but in the French towns, it's pretty common. That was fun having a right winger with your last name.
So you were he was like I think he was at the Capitol on January 6th.
He might have. I think I saw him actually. Yeah. I was there. But
you're like Bolduc?
Yeah. Whoa, what's going on, buddy?
Maine Bolduc. I'm
New Hampshire.
NH.
Damn. Do you know Caitlin?
You were growing up in Maine.
Bangor.
What's that like? What's
the deal with Maine?
Yeah, no.
It is.
How many people were in your high school?
1,500 probably. It was a big high school for Maine.
Okay.
But other than that, it was kind of rural, kind of New England. I mean, it is New England. Weird. Maine is kind of New Englandy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like, there's a town, there's like a center downtown area, and then, so that kind of looks like it has the presentation of sort of a small city, but it's not very big.
What's the population there, Ron?
Probably 35,000 people.
Oh, that's small as shit.
Yeah.
And then what were you in high school? Were you playing sports or anything?
Soccer, basketball. Soccer and basketball.
Were you the cool kid in high school?
No, I think looking back on it, I really was not. I think I annoyed a lot of people when I do the math. I think I was always trying to be funny, and that pissed people off because I was bombing at lunch.
But you were like were you hanging out with the popular kids?
Ish, yeah. Weed smokers too.
Yeah, I can't see. I don't
total
see you
prep
in drama class or anything like that.
I did do some. I did
really?
Les Mis and Aida and stuff.
Oh, so maybe you were kind of a nerd.
Little nerd, yeah. I mean, I think nerd might even give it a little too much of a smart connotation. I think I was an somewhat unlikable dumbass.
What'd you get in your ACT or SAT?
1780 or something like that. It was the only that was decent for you out of 2100.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I got into any college. I think is because I did okay on the SATs.
Were you partying every weekend, drinking and high?
Not really. I started smoking weed in junior year in high school or something like that. I didn't really drink because my parents were strict. I would, sometimes we'd go like out in the woods and get hammered or something like that. But
pot was easier to do.
Yeah, it was easier. I liked it a little more. Drinking really is nice when you're like trying to get laid in college. It really takes a lot of the worries out of the equation.
Why was it easier to get?
Because you're not nervous.
Okay.
You just get blasted and then go try.
Yeah.
And then when you get shut down 8 times in a row, you're just like, whatever. Let's go get pizza.
She's probably gay.
Yeah, she fucking hates my pheromones, dude.
It's all about the pheromones. Were you so in high school though? Were you staying up late?
Yeah, I would stay up later than
doing what?
Getting on the internet, watching videos of people getting run over by trains and stuff.
Really?
I would watch crazy videos on LimeWire that would scar me.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. Like, do you remember Pain Olympics? It's like a guy cutting his dick off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure why I would watch it, but I think it's because
you're trying to suppress your sexual urges.
Well, yeah, I think I was thinking about cutting my dick off, and so I was like, well, see, he did it. Let's see if it looked like it hurt. Yeah, there was that one. There was some gross ones. Yeah, maybe it was fake. I don't know. I think you would just die, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah. Or damn it.
Bleed to death.
I loved that video. Now it's fake. Oh.
Well, there was a guy who's Wayne Bobbitt or whatever got his dick cut off.
That's right. But it would seem like
he survived. They sewed it back on and became a porn star.
Cool. So in some ways, his wife really helped him out. She kind of should be his manager.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's like rappers. If you get shot, you sell a lot more albums. And with porn stars, if you cut your dick off and then sew it back on, you get a career.
I don't think he was a porn star before though.
Yeah, but he's like, why not? He's like, let's run with it.
What else can he do?
It's a happy ending to a sad story, right?
I don't think he can have happy endings anymore.
That's interesting. Wow.
I don't know. I never watched it because I was afraid to see it and then get scarred.
There's a video of
he's a porn star.
I thought you meant there was a video of his wife
not
doing
him getting.
it.
No,
I was like, wow, she really planned it.
No, she cut it off and then they went and found it in the bushes or some shit.
Oh my God! Thank God! Thank God they found that.
So you would watch Pain Olympics and then just go to sleep. You're
like, try to go. Yeah, go upstairs.
It's weird they had to stay up.
Mm-hmm. Listen to some Eminem. Punch a wall.
And in college, were you like in a fraternity or anything like that?
I wasn't. I was kind of hung out with more like hippie. We'd go to like jam band shows and shit like that. More drug related than
drug stuff,
than push up related or prank frat, whatever frats do. I don't know. I didn't really go. The first frat I ever went to, I went to one party freshman year and they had pictures of Ronald Reagan all over the walls. So I was like, I don't think I'm fucking get along with these guys. So.
What?
It was Pike, so he went there, I think, and
Pike's. No, he went to he's from Eureka College here in Illinois, I think.
But Pike's is the frat.
There's a frat, yeah. Oh, maybe he was.
I think he was in Pike, yeah. It's the biggest fraternity nationally, I think.
Pi Kappa Alpha, yeah. I rushed there, but I went to a different fraternity.
Wait, you rushed there and then you just went to it? You just betrayed them?
I didn't get up. I went to a different fraternity. Like when you rush, you go to multiple places. You just check them out.
Any fun? Anything get like put up your ass during a?
No, I wasn't. I went to.
See, that's why I would rush. I'd be like, can I?
I want to get beat up.
Please, sir. I'd like another. Yeah.
I went to the fraternity that didn't haze because I was too much of a pussy to deal with. Like and I think that's a legitimate. Yeah, I just
thing
wanted
to not want to get a candle stuck up your ass.
I went to Illinois and I didn't want to join a fraternity when I went to school, and so the first semester you couldn't have a social life because the Greek system was like 90% of the social system.
I almost thought about Russian one because it was like, how am I going to meet people? And then started selling weed. So that's a good way.
That's the way you meet people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Met the guy who sold mushrooms.
You started your own community.
It was our own. We were Sigma Nug. We sold, we had.
The sorority girls only hooked up with fraternity guys.
Yeah.
And the non-sorority girls, 50% of them also hung out with fraternity guys. So what was left was slim pickings.
Yeah, very, very hard. You're at the library trying to hit on people and stuff. Yeah. Hey, cool book. Right. Is it the Bible?
That's not. I didn't say that.
No, cool.
No, I was still. I was drinking a lot and
at the library.
At the library, yeah. Were you staying up late? Just jamming Eminem still when you were?
No,
in college?
By that time I was not so much an Eminem fan, but we would go to raves. That was a thing in college. Basement raves.
Doing
Molly was the big one there. Nitrous. They'd have nitrous tanks.
Sure.
Stuff like that. But yeah, those were late nights, and we would do that a lot. We would stay up for like 2 days doing drugs
and then sleep it off.
And then sleep it off. Yeah, because
But you guys had Adderall too. But see,
and people were giving it out back then. It wasn't like you barely even had to buy it. Everybody had so much. That's what was my experience. That people would have a script of Adderall. You could always find somebody who was like, "Yeah, I'll give you an Adderall," and those can really keep you up. Holy shit! If you take too many, I've had some terrible nights trying to sleep.
I never did Ritalin. Never have done it. So I what happens when there's no more Ritalin, or when you stop taking it? You just crash for a while?
Well, you take one and that'll keep you going for a while. Yeah, it gets you feel alert, more awake, more energy for 3 hours, maybe something like that. 10 milligrams. Yeah. And then, I don't know if you really crash so much, but you probably want to have a couple of beers.
Yeah.
Coming off of any upper, I would think. Yeah. Chill you out. But you're not very creative. I never write on them. I can clean my place, but.
How long have you been taking Ritalin for?
I probably took, that type of amphetamine for the first time in college, for your late high school, maybe. Okay. Took an Adderall. Didn't know how much to take. We would snort it too. Yeah. And so then that was my first time. I think the summer after high school, we were in my friend's garage snorting Adderall, and I was like, oh, it kind of makes you feel good, but it's not. It doesn't really make you feel much. And so, but then you just can't sleep. So I'm laying in my fucking bed like, oh my God, what the hell's going to happen? You jerk off 40,000 times.
They used to have Ritalin.
My brother gets that. It's good. I like that stuff.
That's what I did. It would just make me feel fine. And I was like, they're like, you probably have ADD then.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All drugs affected me differently. Like even when I would do coke, I would just be like, let's just hang out here. Everyone's like all wired. They want to go to raves and shit. I'm like, I just want to hang out in this room. You guys are my best friends.
Dude, that's what I want to do when I'm on coke. People want to let's go and do something. And I'm like, no, dude, you haven't told me about your aunt yet.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You're my best friend.
Yeah. You have some old phones here.
Yeah.
Is this decor, right?
That's just decor.
Okay. I didn't know if you were like a player. I was like, you're the fuck boy.
those are the numbers.
One for the work and one for the hose. He has
There's 3 there, yeah. So you finished school. You graduated, I assume?
Yeah, did well. Dean's List.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
4 years?
I was on and off. I mean, I made it a lot.
You finished school in 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
That's impressive.
4 years. None of my other friends did. They were all like, what, you're graduating this year? I'm like, yeah, guys, that's how it works. You're supposed to graduate in 4 years.
Yeah.
They were like, how did you get it done? I'm like,
Adderall.
Wasn't that hard, yeah.
So then you moved to Chicago right after, or what'd you do?
No, right after I got a job working for the Democrats in Portland, Maine. I was playing in a band.
What did you play?
Rapped.
You rapped?
Rapped in a band, yeah.
What?
Sang a little bit and rapped, yeah. I was a rapper in college. I came out with an album.
How do I not know this?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna start doing it again. I think I'm gonna quit comedy and just be a rapper.
Well, you could do it on stage.
That is true. But
what was your rap name?
Peebs the Prophet.
Peebs.
Peebs the Prophet. And actually, the other day I can send you this. Brian, my roommate, found something online where a guy was on a message board being like, "Yo, does anybody know what happened to Peebs the Prophet?" He dropped one album in 2014 or whatever and never came out again or whatever. So if that guy is listening to this podcast, then I'm here.
What was your biggest hit?
My biggest hit was a song called
play it in the microphone, please.
All right.
Or we're gonna have to pay royalties to you.
Hold on, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Yeah, Don't Sleep Records. Well, that's funny. Don't Sleep Records. Yeah, shout out to DJ Phonics, the great producer from Portland, Maine, produced my album. Let's see here. Yeah, it did pretty well. Most people in the United States don't know about it, but it did very well in Eastern Europe. If you were ever in a bread line in 2014, you probably...
In the Ukraine?
Yeah.
Put her closer. It's not bad so far. Well, you didn't create the beat. No. Okay. This is pretty good.
Yeah. He's a good producer.
It's a long fucking
take a moment to think, then I continue on. They
That's
say
you?
one can really understand you till you're gone, but how can they be positive? The only thing we got in common is the rhyming, but in time I show you what a prophet is. I'm walking through the streets at midnight.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. So yeah, that's it's pretty cringe in certain ways. Some things that I say where
good.
I'm like, it's some good flows, but I was definitely
Reagan
just like,
wasn't that bad, stuff like that.
No, I was like woker than probably I am now on that, where I was like, this is ruining the world. This is the problem with this. It's fine, but it was just a little heavy-handed for a fucking 22-year-old who was laying on a mattress probably while he was recording it on the floor.
You're like you were like Macklemore before he was Macklemore. You had a pro-Palestinian song too.
That's true. I'm pro-Israel Macklemore.
Wow, that's actually impressive. Why don't you use that as a credit?
I don't know. It just seems like it has nothing really to do with comedy. But
who cares?
Yeah. I mean, people have Nick Cartwright made fun of me for it in a roast battle.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
That was I was I'll tell you what.
You thought it was gonna be garbage.
I thought it was gonna be garbage.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. The beats were fucking pretty good too.
The beats are good. Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. Was how good the beats were. But I would assume if you showed me a picture of me and you were like, "Is that guy a good rapper? He has an album. Is it good?" I would say good, no, and it might be alt-right.
But it's super woke, and it was like free. Yeah. Well, so what was the name of that song we just heard?
That was "Take a Moment."
Oh God. Well, maybe the song lyrics are a little.
Yeah, the name. But you want to hear the names of the songs?
Yeah. I'm still in shock about this. By the way,
it's kind of funny.
This is like very not on brand for you. It seems like you wouldn't put an effort into an album.
Yeah, I mean, I just laid on a mattress with a blue. But
you wrote these.
I did, yes.
Beats.
That would be really. Rap. That would be. I didn't write the beats.
The rap.
Yeah, that would be funny
flow.
if I just stole all the lyrics too. Yeah, they're actually not very funny. Oh, one of them is called 5 a.m.
Let's hear a little 5 a.m. Right. Is it about you staying up, thinking about the world?
Writing, thinking about the world.
World's
pensive.
all fucked up.
It's so fucked up, dude.
He's the prophet.
There's war. Kids are dying.
Kids are dying. Kids are being born also.
This is pretty fucking good.
It's not bad, yeah.
That was good.
Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Gonna have a reunion. It's 10 years.
It's 10 years, so we were gonna come up with another song. Yeah, I'm writing.
What's this one?
I'm in the lab. This one's going to be called DeSantis has got my vote. No. Did you see Russell Brand just went MAGA?
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. Okay, so you're working for the Democratic Party, writing raps.
Writing raps about Bill Clinton. No.
After college.
After
and
college.
Working for the Democrats in Portland, Maine.
In Portland, Maine. That job ended because the guy lost for governor, lost to a Republican. So then I was landscaping, and there was an open mic near me where I lived in Portland. Portland's a pretty cool town if you've ever been there.
Never been.
Yeah, so then I just started doing open mics at this place called Mama's Crowbar, which was like a feminist like poetry bar kind of thing, but they would have an open mic. And so, you know, the owner, Trish, if you're listening, what up? If you didn't like your joke, she'd like scream at you and stuff like that. But
while you're on stage?
Yeah, it wasn't like kick you out, but you would be like, dude, that's fucking not true. Fuck you. That's whatever. And so...
Did you do your raps during that open mic?
No, I don't think I ever combined the two, but the Portland.
There's time.
Yeah, maybe I'll create some type of like, maybe that's my like Larry the Cable Guy.
You know, we learned Brian Hicks started with raps. Did you know that?
Like comedy raps? Hey,
yeah.
I'm Brian Hicks, and I'm here to say I'm going to tell some jokes in your fucking face. But he would swear, even though he doesn't know.
He had one about farts, if you listen to this.
Really? That's interesting. I thought you were going to say he was like a rapper, like did serious raps where Hicks is like, oh, fucking bro, you blow your brains
it was comedy.
out.
It was like, I mean, this is like 1998. So it was a little... So you're doing the Empire, or you're doing the
Mama's
open
Crowbar,
mic.
Yep.
Were you good?
No. Bad, really bad at first.
What were you talking about?
I think I used to do the thing where I would be like super ironic, or like I was trying to be alty even to a certain extent, and people were just like, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then a couple of, one-liners started working, and so then you're able to be like, okay, I'm going to open with that, and then I'll fuck around in the middle and you get a 4-minute set. And actually, in Maine, we got 5 minutes. That was very interesting when I moved to Chicago. They're like, no, we got to keep it moving, baby. 4 minutes. I made a big mistake. I went up there with a beer and my phone to try to read the jokes, and I had nothing to hold the mic with, but I took the mic out and then held the beer like this.
Why don't you just put the beer down?
Paul, I've been asking myself that question for 10 years now.
Is there videotape of this or evidence of this?
Not of that place, but there's one of me online that I can't find the person who put it online from when I was starting there, and it's like I'm not bombing, but the jokes are
bad,
embarrassingly bad. Yes.
What are you talking about?
I did one about how there was an Uber driver. I was talking to him. This is a true story. An Uber driver told me that he was a child soldier in his earlier life, and then he got to the United States. And I think the punchline is like, yeah, I shouldn't have said thank you for your service.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't say that to him, but I wrote the joke.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
But yeah, that was one of the big ones. That used to
So how long
mid.
were you doing the open mics there before you left to your next location?
Did it for 2 years in Portland. You know, we would drive to Boston a lot.
What brought you to Chicago?
My brother was living here. Yeah, my brother was living here. Well, the comedy, but the reason I chose it was because the rent seemed reasonable, and my brother.
Did you live with him?
No, I didn't, but it was just, he did a little, like, he kind of told me about the city, and I visited him once. I moved in, when I first moved here, I moved to Logan Square with a guy named Paul, who I was like 26, and he was, these guys were in their 40s. One of them was in their 50s. It was a very weird living situation. Paul, if you're listening, what up? I found out that Chris Cornell died. Because this guy, Paul, you live in the room right next to me, had a very thick Chicago accent. And one morning I heard through the thin wall, I heard him go, "Come on, Chris Cornell, you can't be hanging yourself."
That's how you learned?
That's how I found out. And I was like, did Chris Cornell die? And I was like, oh shit, he did. That sucks.
That's how you learn from.
That's how I learned.
One of the guys from the Bears skit on SNL.
Yeah, pretty much. This guy, wonder what he's up to. I didn't get along with the other guy. One night I came home and made some spaghetti or something like that, and I was like, I'll just do the dishes tomorrow. It was just one pot.
You just left it out.
I left it in the sink. I didn't let the marinara sauce or the spaghetti sauce stick to it. I washed it off, but he was very anal about that, and then he took the pot and left it outside of my door.
That's very passive aggressive.
Yeah, and so he had like a cat, and I just let it out and let it go. And it did. He never got it back.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, no, just kidding. It was a dog, but so we didn't get along. Then I moved in with Tucker and Tyler Horvath.
And you guys are doing comedy at the...
I'm trying to think of the big... I mean, it was Mike's with Finley Dunn's, CIC Theater.
Okay.
Where were the other ones? You remember did you used to do that where you'd go around and do 3 mics in a night, 4 mics?
Yeah, we tried to. Well, we couldn't do... When I started, there wasn't that many mics.
Yeah, it was just all the same people, and you'd have to get an early spot at Nick's to then go over to the place across the street from Nick's and then run over to Cole's.
Yeah, at some point it was worth it to just do one good one.
Right. Yes. And actually think about your jokes rather than just sprinting to the next one. Yeah.
When you moved here, did you have a job?
No, I was
making money off. You're just living off the royalties of your Peeves days.
Yes, that $800 that I got from Spotify. I worked for Chicago Hire. Did some shit through them. Like I was did clerical shit for
night jobs.
No, day. I always wanted the nights free. That's one thing I've never been able to allow myself to do is to have a permanent night job because I just picture canceling a gig because of it. I'm like, it sounds so.
Can't do it. Yeah. I assume that since you've been here, you've just been a night owl. Then you're usually up late. Mm-hmm. If you're not drinking, are you going to bed early or no? No,
I stay up probably even later. If I'm not drinking.
If there's no drugs involved.
Yeah, which very rarely is, no drugs involved. But when the occasional time, when I visit my parents back in Maine or something like that, my old weed guy can't get... Actually, they have dispensaries now, so that wouldn't happen. But yeah, I do not like the nighttime without my stuff.
But you're still up regardless?
Probably, yeah.
So what are you doing late at night if you don't have any medication to keep you awake?
Probably, or to put me to sleep.
Well, I'm just trying to say drugs.
So if I'm not high, what am I doing? I'll go down, YouTube holes watching right-wing YouTubers.
See what could have been.
Yeah, see what my life would have been if my parents weren't boomer liberals. The liberals aren't very funny to watch,
Are there nights that you're like, I wish I was just home right now? Like you've made the worst decision of your life?
For sure.
Which one can you talk about? That the statute of limitations?
Statute of limitations. Well, I made a bad decision recently where I took a really expensive Uber out to the suburbs to get laid, to try to get laid. And it's one of those things where, it's over. After it's over, I don't want to say... Mm-hmm. Come, but after you come,
you can say come.
All right, after you come, you're just like, fuck, what am I doing out here? I am like 30 minutes away from where I live, and I don't have a car, and I don't know this woman, and it's like, it seems all good when you're juiced up and the pheromones are loose, and
it's all about the pheromones.
It's all about the pheromones, dude. Or if you get out there and the pheromones aren't right, what happens then?
Yeah. What was bad about that decision? I mean, you still got laid.
I got laid. It was just kind of like you think about it and you're like, you could have jerked off and
been in bed by now.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess there is nothing wrong with that. What is so wrong
with
bad?
There's like that's.
I took an Uber to get laid.
Unless you got something from it, or
that's how cheap I am. I'm like, whoa, I feel like Catholic guilt because
$17 to get laid.
17 there, 17 back.
Yeah. Was it worth it? It wasn't worth it.
I guess, yeah, no, not for her. I don't think she was. No, I'm just kidding.
You 69 with you on top.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm 5'1".
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I like on top. I don't know what to tell you.
That's how I roll.
One time I was, this was kind of an interesting, this is a Ritalin story. I was out doing shows, took a Ritalin to, I kind of like taking them sometimes before a show. If you have to do like a half hour or something like that, it helps me keep my set straight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have that moment like 20 minutes in where you're like, did I forget something? Whatever. It can help. But, and then I took another one afterwards because we were drinking and whatever. And, I had to teach a class at a famous improv theater the next day at 10 a.m. And, I get home at like 2 and I'm like, okay, I'll be, this is going to suck, but I'll get some sleep, and just couldn't at all. And I drank a lot of whiskey to try to offset it still wouldn't work. And so I just eventually was like, all right, you are staying up. You're going to be up.
Just stayed up. Yeah.
Yeah. I wore a mask in to teach the class so I could, hide part of my face. I didn't want people, I thought I'd be like twitching.
Was it during COVID?
Was anything during COVID?
I'm just saying, like, you're wearing a mask.
It was acceptable. It wasn't, not everybody was wearing masks. Stayed up.
But that's part of being, the first thing I would do if you came there and just been like, all right, you guys, I'm fucking tired and hungover, but that's lesson of being a stand-up comedian. You just got to fight it through.
Yeah.
So what happened? What's so bad about that? So far, so good.
Yeah. I mean, nothing so bad turned out, but one of my students was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I have schizophrenia, and so I'm on medication for it. That was the only thing I could think of at that moment. And I was like, I'm on antipsychotics. That's why I'm acting weird. I do the big lie to try to get out of it. Yeah, and I could have just been like, I'm really tired. I couldn't. Sometimes you just can't get to sleep and you do have to go to work.
And they all believed you? The class,
I only told one person. She asked me afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, she said this afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. I felt a little bit bad because people do pay a lot of money for those classes, but I feel like I was roughly gave the same amount of good advice. Hey, say nice shirt. Do they make that in men's? Where
I feel like you probably were more honest, if anything, because if you're like too coddling.
Yeah. Oh, I was a big coddler.
If someone's paying money, you got to assume that they want to get better.
My issue was a lot of people would never write, and they would be like, so what advice do you have for me in comedy? And I'd be like, I have nothing to critique because you didn't write anything.
Like, I do off the head.
Yeah. A lot of them would tell stories about shitting their pants. That's for some reason is the go-to. So at one time I shit my pants. I'm like, that's not crazy.
I did a show recently at a club. 3 of the comics, I was hosting a showcase there, and they all talked about shitting themselves, and I was like, this is a showcase where you guys are trying to get past, right? Like, you're like, why you saw it didn't work the first time? Why did you?
They're like, I got this one.
Yeah.
The rule of 3s, right? Third person brings up shitting themselves. It's all of a sudden funny.
Although the third time, they're like, maybe if I just talk about shitting and not on myself, it will work with this older, crowd.
Yeah, they love that.
Yeah, didn't work.
People, the greatest generation. They love stories about. Yeah. About millennials shitting themselves 70. On their way to their job at a coffee shop.
They were like 40 years old, but yeah, they were. The one guy that went on the last one, I'm like, all right, well, he's a more established comic. He saw what just happened, and I was like,
he still
did it.
Still went right into it.
What is going on?
That's weird.
But yeah, those so far here, those aren't bad situations. Are there situations where you like the greatest night of your life was like, thank God I was up late and I got to do this? Like, have you had a situation lately or ever where you're like, this was the best thing that's ever happened to me after midnight? Because a lot of people say only bad shit happens after midnight.
Midnight.
I say that's not true at all.
There's nothing open but legs in hospitals.
That's true.
I smoked DMT in Appleton, Wisconsin one time after doing Skyline Comedy Club.
Great club.
Do you know Matt Bellick? You remember Matt at all? He was here for a little bit. Now he's in Austin. He was... him and his buddy were doing a co-headlining thing there. I opened up for him, and afterwards, this woman, it was kind of like that situation, but she wasn't trying to fuck me. She was just like, hey, we're having a party back at our house. You want to come? So me and Matt are like, hell yeah. The other two dudes who were with, they're like, no, we're going to the hotel. So we go over there. We get there in the Uber. There's like a washer machine in the driveway. It looks kind of like white trashy in that way. And so then we get in. There's not a party happening.
You still went in after you saw the...
Yeah. We were like, well, you know, what else are we going to do in Appleton? So we go in. Definitely people doing meth there.
Yeah.
Found
what they do there.
I found that out because a guy was just like, hey, I just did meth. But then one of the meth dudes, so we're drinking and doing all that stuff. Not meth, but other things. And
they were like, what's this? It's like clear. It's like meth, but much more pure. Like, yeah, it's called cocaine.
It's coke. It's coke. You want to start a business? Let's do it. But yeah, one of the dudes had he made his own DMT somehow, and he's like, do you want to blast off? So I blasted off, and I laid back onto her bed, and it was just covered in her laundry, clean. So I woke up just in a pile of laundry.
How long were you out from the DMT?
I think about 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
What was it like? I've never done DMT.
It's you're like transported to it. If you blast off, you go to do it, smoke enough of it that you actually go to another place. It was
where'd you go to? Like Racine, Wisconsin?
Yeah, that sucked. It was not cool at all. I went to New Hampshire. I went to
like, this isn't where I thought.
Yeah, I went to a Trump rally in New Hampshire. I was like, DMT, I trusted you. What the fuck? I don't really, it was like a dark realm where there were some beings and things like that. It's a vague, I don't remember it perfectly clearly, but it was scary as shit. But I was like, dude, I want a half gram of that DMT right now.
And you did it again?
I bought it off him. I gave it to my brother for his birthday, and he still has it actually. So
you haven't done DMT since?
Not since then. No, one time at.
So many bad decisions on the. First of all, if you're going to start going on the road, like the one thing you don't do is don't
DMT
go
on a pile of laundry.
Well, there was like 3 steps before that where you shouldn't have gone. Like, don't go to their houses ever. Like, nothing good ever happens. No one's ever like, hey, I'm glad after the show I went home with this lady.
Well, you didn't think she had some.
You go to the bars with them. You go to hotels.
The coke was at her house. She had a bunch of coke at her house.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, her kids were there too, which is weird.
Okay.
Her kids were running around downstairs. They seemed like they had a good life. Their kids were eating snacks, hanging out.
I had some fun times in Appleton, but I never went to someone's house. Although I was invited, I was like, no, why don't you guys come back to the hotel with us?
If you headline there, bring me, and I'll bring you to the house that we went to.
If I saw a washer or a dryer in a driveway, I would immediately be like, nah.
It was definitely like one of them was driving in a truck and saw it and was like, I bet I can get that working. It was like on the side of the road. So they're like, and then they brought it home, put it in the driveway, and we're like, I kind of want to smoke some meth. I'm gonna do this meth,
and then I'm gonna fix this washer.
And then they 8 days later, dryer's still there,
but the house is clean as fuck.
The house is clean as fuck. The teeth are gone.
Do you ever end up just like, when you're coming down from your whatever drug or alcohol you're on at night, do you go hang out somewhere? If it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, or you're just back at home?
There's a key club by my place.
Oh, are you a member?
I'm not a member. Went there with a friend of mine had been there a couple of times.
You got the handshake down.
Well, she basically was like, let's just go stand out in front and somebody will let us in. And I was like, no, they won't, like, because I'm a guy, so it doesn't happen to me. And we were out there for 2 seconds, and then somebody was like, hey, you want to come in? And then she's like, yeah, my friend has to come too. And they're like, God fucking damn it, all right. And so I went there, and I'm like, dude, it's like 5 a.m. This is going to be sick. Walk in, bunch of old dudes smoking cigarettes.
Old guys. Yeah.
Old guys smoking cigs. Yeah. And they tried to like buy the girl that I was with off me. They went up to her, and they're like, yo, what's the deal with the girl? And I'm like, no, the deal, I don't know. She's my friend. And he's like, did she like get down? And I was like, I don't know. You can ask her anything. I'm not her like, feel free to, And he was basically like, he's like, I can give you some coke if like I can whatever. And I'm like, just go talk to her. I don't fucking, she probably wants some coke. Yeah.
So I take it you don't go back there very often?
No, I went twice.
You went back after that?
I went twice, and I brought a bunch of freaks back to my house from that place at like 8 a.m.
Old guys smoking cigarettes?
No, women, one dude.
And how did it go? cucked 69'd?
No, I think I got a hand job underneath a blanket in the room. Like I started like hooking up with one of the women, or like kind of like handsy with her, and then the other two people are still in the room and they're just doing blow and chatting and stuff like that. And I got like a hand job, but the woman like jerked me off underneath a blanket just on the couch. She was being a little bit subtle, but you know, I think they were like, hey, you know, the other guy was like, yeah, he invited me into his house. I'm not going to fucking say you can't. It's my couch.
Yeah.
All right. My roommate's dad bought it.
Like,
okay.
I know it's my wife, but
yeah. I was like, oh, this is your wife. Okay. They were Mormon. They were both. Yeah.
It happens.
Dude, those parties must be nuts. The key clubs
soaking,
with Mormons.
Yeah. Just all soaking all over the place. Well, that's their version of soaking, is a hand job on a
What
blanket.
is soaking again? You just put it in.
You can't move, yeah. But they can sit on the bed next to you, and like they have like a friend like jump up and down on the couch or whatever.
Oh, I love the rules. Wait, is that Jewish or?
No, that's Mormon.
Okay, because it reminds
Jewish
me of
is
like
anal. I don't know if that's true.
They're anal. Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you guys call it on Saturday?
Sabbath?
Sabbath is for
Friday.
the boys.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Friday?
Well, whatever. Yeah.
They can't light their own cigarette. The Orthodox Jews, right?
I don't know.
I thought you couldn't use certain things, so they have another person light their cigarette.
Yeah, after dark. Yeah.
But and then what we're
talking about soaking.
Yeah.
And that reminds you of lighters for cigarettes.
Well, because their friend jumps up on the bed, so they're doing them a solid. Yeah.
That's how they get around the rules to get the friction. So it's like you put it in, and then someone will jump on the bed, so there's like movement.
You know how I get around the rules? Go to Thailand. That's.
Oh God!
Sorry.
Everyone wants to go to Thailand,
dude. It's people have done jokes about this, but how much it would suck if you just actually really liked the Thai culture and like what thought the country was interesting, and people were just like, you're just like a bald, like middle-aged dude, and they're like, so you're going to Thailand? You're like, yeah, just for other reasons, not for the sex trade.
It's it's like reading Playboy for the art. No, I'm just journalism.
Yeah, just
top notch.
Right, I got to do something while I'm waiting for the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever use the apps to like get people to come to your show, and then you're like, okay, now I did they watch you, and they're like, all right, deal's done. It's like the pheromones.
I don't think so. I don't think I've brought women to shows before, but not for meeting for the first time. I would feel like that's cocky to be like, come watch me for.
I had a friend tell me a story recently where he went to an open. He was like crushing it at the time. He's an established comic, but he would meet girls on Tinder, take them to the open mic where he was like a celebrity, and do his A material. Take these girls. Well, I was like, that's pretty fucking amazing.
And all the fucking open micers are coming up to him and be like, oh my God, what's going on? She's like, wow, people really respect you. And it's like, yeah, these people have these people have no friends. And,
but it's a good move in terms of
it's
just
that's where you're the king. If you run a show, you go to an open, like, they're going to be like, wow, are you like the president or something like that? Because the thing is, like, if they hear about your lifestyle, whatever, and they go, well, he isn't available at night. He doesn't necessarily have a steady income. There's all these reasons why people wouldn't want to date a comedian. But then the thing that saves them is like, well, when I go, he is really funny and it's impressive. But then if you don't have that, they're just like, I'll just go fuck a homeless guy at this point. Because what's the difference?
Yeah, I could see that. Oh shit! You know what? I did a show with you recently, and I was doing all new material until I look in the audience and I was like, oh fuck! There's a girl there on a date that I used to date, and she was watching me, kind of eating it. It was we were both on a show.
Yeah, that was a tough night.
It was a tough crowd.
Yeah,
and then I'm trying to do. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm never here. And look, and she's there. I was like, and you were watching part of my set. I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, now it got better at the end, but at the first time, like I did, the first three things did not work. I was so pissed.
they were a.
How did they go for you? Yeah, that's right.
Roughly the same. It was like you get a laugh. Haha.
Yeah, they were tight.
Done. Haha, done. And I don't know which woman it was, but I do know that she hated me because every woman in that show hated me. It was looking around
back,
and every guy too. But I did see one dude laughing. But it was like you see people's faces making like, especially when you're not talking about anything gross.
Yeah.
And they're still just like, and you're like, Is something happening to you? Like, are you in pain? Like,
there was people wearing masks at that show too. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
There was only like 10 people in the audience, so I knew everybody.
Yeah, and it's like, did I tell you this? I had one. I went out to, I forget the town in Illinois, but me and LaRoe went out there and did this outdoor show. There was a lot of people, decent pay, so you're forgiving some things about, but basically I did a joke and some really old guy stood up and took out his cane and walked over to me and handed me another cane, and we sword fought a little. He started swinging his cane at me, and I had to like sword fight him a little bit in sort of a playful way, but he also did just like smash my wrist accidentally with it.
How did that start?
I did a joke about Irish people having small penises, and he was like, nope, no. Here's the funny thing. Before the show, one of the only things they told us, not, hey, here's when you're going to get a light, here's money, anything like that. It was, he goes, we got a security guy over there. It's Big John. So he's like, trust me, if anybody tries anything, Big John's got you. And I was like, all right, like, I really hope no one does. I have never had that happen, and I would never plan for that to happen. But then literally a guy did walk up on stage and start swinging a cane at me. And
he
Big
gave
John
you a cane
was
before?
He did. I forget exactly how it was. I have a video of it. I'll find it. But yeah,
Big John
did nothing. I was like, the one thing the guy you hired to stop. I'm like, anytime somebody's approaching the stage and any like, even though this dude was so, I did jokes about how I was just like, I could fuck that guy up so bad.
Well, if Big John side back, well, he gave you a cane before.
Right.
It's not like he just left.
Right. It was an honorable. It was an honorable duel.
It's a duel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you go to Northbrook or wherever the fuck that was. That's funny. No, I didn't hear anything about this.
I'll send you the video of it.
It would be funny if they're like, oh, that's just Brian. He does it all the shows. That means he liked you the best. He only picks the best of the night for the cane fight.
He sword fought Frank Caliendo the other weekend. It was great.
I used to get mad when people would come up on stage, come talk to you after the show and be like, they'd be like, I think I'm going to try it. Yeah, and it's you have to. Someone told me a long time ago that if they do that, it's a compliment because that means you made it look easy. Mm-hmm. And then when they go and try it, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
People do it a lot. People do that. It's a common thing where they're just like,
I could do this.
Yeah, and then they kind of like right when they give you a couple of compliments, but it's all getting them to where they're like, and I think I'm really funny. And
I always tell people to do it. I'm like, yeah, you should go to an open mic.
Go for it. Go to an open mic. It's
4 minutes.
It's an open mic.
Yeah,
it's open.
Do it. Very fun to have you on the podcast as always. I don't think we covered anything, but it doesn't matter. Sorry, was I rambling too much? Or no, it was fun. Where can people find out more about you and your upcoming shows? Please go to my Instagram, Pat_Zingis, named after the great Porzingis. Is that where you get it from? Yeah, Porzingis on the Celtics. Yeah. 7-3, shoots the lights out. And I have a podcast called The Leg Day Podcast with Brian LaRoe and Bill Gewirtz. If you want to ever do it, absolutely. We'll smoke some DMT. I'll do anything. Get the pheromones popping. Okay, cool. I'll figure out a date. I like one of those guys. No, I'm just kidding. I like him. I don't know Brian LaRoe that. You don't know Brian? Well, you'll get to know him. I know of him. I think he's really funny. Yeah. Thank you, Pat, for doing the podcast. Thank you all for listening and watching. Now go to sleep.